Hey everybody, it's 7800ProGamer here, aka John, and this is just a supercut of the 7 parts of the collection video that we posted previously on Patreon. I thought it would be cool to have them all together in one singular video for you guys. So again, you can watch them in parts if you want, or you can go ahead and watch this. Just another little thing I wanted to do for all my supporters. Thanks again for supporting me on Patreon and on YouTube memberships. And thanks for being classy Atarians. Enjoy the supercut of the collection.
Atari just reinvented the video game with this, the Atari 7800.
Incredible, huh? So powerful it plays like the best arcade game with real joysticks, right? So advanced it plays super games, computer games no other video game system ever played. Just look at these. It even plays all Atari 2600 games. Great, huh? Hey. Oh, the new Atari 7800. We reinvented the video game.
This is in no order, and there's no script, so there might be a lot more ums and ahs. So first we have KC Munchkin, and I don't have a whole lot to say about KC Munchkin. I do enjoy it on the 7800. The other thing you gotta know, while I was recording this, I was kind of wiping everything down. I was cleaning off my shelves, and I thought, hey, this is a good opportunity to go through some stuff. And again, I'm going to put it out in chunks. But KC Munchkin is a pretty good little game for the 7800. It sort of is what it is. It's just an Odyssey 2 port. Now, Keystone Coppers. This is a really good game by Muddy Vision. It stays pretty faithful to the original. I love it. I think I pull out the manual here, and I'll keep this in because I really like what they did with the manual. They kind of made it into a dirty, old-timey paper there, and I believe Muddy is in one of those pictures, and some of his friends. I don't know if they use any stock photos or not, but very cool there. I love that game. I wish it was still available. It wasn't available for very long, but it was such an awesome package. Next we have Kung Fu Master, and this is not the original box. So these Absolute games came in massive computer-sized boxes, so I kind of got the smaller boxes that are more in line with the rest of the 7800 stuff. So there's that. Night Guy and Low Res World Castle Days. This is an awesome homebrew. A little short, but I highly recommend it. It looks incredible. It plays great. Overall, a pretty decent little game. Karateka, or Karateka, as many of you have corrected me. Boy, this is a game. God, we wanted this game to be great back in the day. That's for certain, and it was not. So, little action game for the 7800. Now, this says Journey of Snail. This is actually the sequel. So I got a Journey of Snail box off of Etsy. There is no Journey of Snail 2 box, which is what is actually in this box. As you can see, Journey of Snail New World. It's a text adventure, so you might not see it much on the channel, but it's an okay game by Gambler, I believe. Joust. Joust on the 7800 is an incredible game. Touche, it says on the back. They didn't do much with the backs of these boxes, but this is an awesome port of Joust. Attack of the Petsky Robots. Now, some people love this. The 8-bit guy touts that it's probably the most complicated 7800 game. I don't know about all that. It's okay. Vinny loves it a lot more than I do. I believe he reviewed it on his channel, actually, so you should go check that out. And subscribe to his new YouTube channel, Atari7800forever.com. Asteroids. My favorite 7800 game. This game has gotten a lot of play from me. Excellent, awesome. You have to have it if you have a 7800 or a 2600 plus, I suppose. Alien Brigade is probably one of my favorite, definitely my favorite light gun game on the 7800, and probably one of my, I love light gun games. It's up there for me. I wouldn't say it's a top light gun game, but it's really good. If you haven't tried it with an actual light gun, you're really missing out. Armor Attack 2. This is a game I did not appreciate a whole lot until I did the homebrew video last year in 2023. After playing it again, it's really a fun game. It's incredibly, just an incredibly fun little game. There's not a lot to it, but give it a try if you haven't. 2048, again by Muddy Vision. This game, not horribly complicated. You can play it in a number of different places, but there is a 7800 version, and it's not too bad. Junior Pac-Man. This is a great version of Junior Pac-Man. Of course, the 2600 port was awesome, and this one plays even better than that, believe it or not. Jinx. Jinx was a game that I really wanted to play when I got the 7800 back. I hadn't had it before, so I bought it, and yeah, it's a game. Impossible Mission, the truly impossible game. I have another version of this. We'll talk a little bit more about it later, but it's, it's a game. This is an aftermarket box, but, it does have the actual game in it and stuff. I don't think I ever had the original box for it. Crazy Bricks. This is probably one of my favorite Robert DeCrescenzo games ever made. A lot of nostalgia here. A lot of the patterns are after Atari properties. Great fun. Donkey Kong PK. Vinny just did a video on this. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. This game is an incredible arcade port. I mean, near perfect. Crystal Quest. A lot of people love this game. It just came out on the VCS if you own that. Again, incredibly fun. There's a ton of secrets that you might not know about or even think to find. But it's a great platformer. I wish we could have had something like that back in the day. The 7800 desperately needed those kind of games. And here's another good one, Crossbow. It's another light gun game. You can play it with a joystick. It's a little different in how it works compared to other games. You have to protect a crew of people, trying to make it across several levels. But it's a ton of fun. It's very unique. And I like the 7800 version a lot. Now, Cracked. Cracked is a dumb game. It could have been good, and there's some stickers on the box there. The Rooster Ranch is terrible. It's an okay idea, but I think it would have worked better as a light gun game. Centipede. Now, this is, again, another great port of an Atari classic. It came out as one of the launch titles. Another must-own. I think they're highly available. They're easy to find, so I recommend it. Choplifter. Now, when I came back to the 7800, this was a game I was obsessed with. It's not as good as the Sega version, the arcade version, what have you, but, it's okay for what it is. It's fun, and then when you beat it, you're kind of miffed at it, I guess. Commando. Now, this is one of two Pokey games with the enhanced audio, and really, this is a excellent game on 7800, comparable to Ikari Warriors, but I prefer that one, but Commando's great. Crazy Auto. Now, again, this was originally what GCC called Miss Pac-Man, before they sold it to Namco and the rights and everything. So it's Miss Pac-Man. I mean, it's fun to have. Now, Pac-Man Collection, on the other hand, the 40th Anniversary Edition, this might be the definitive version of Pac-Man and the definitive version of the Pac-Man Collection on the 7800. One-on-one basketball. I think this game is underrated today, but it plays brilliantly. Again, and it's fairly reasonable as far as these things go, so check it out if you haven't. Ninja Golf. Ninja Golf is one of those games, you either love it or you hate it. I personally love it. I've always loved it. It's just outrageous. It's what people who don't play video games, that's what they think a video game is. Motor Psycho. This was one of the last games I had to acquire to complete my retail collection. I haven't played it a whole lot, but the jumps are ridiculous in this game. Kind of fun. I like it. Barnyard Blaster. It's a light gun game. I don't know. It's not brilliant. It's okay. Light gun games are always fun, but that one gets boring fast. Missing in Action. Of course, this was never released. It's a prototype. The box is from Etsy. The cartridge is from GoodDealGames.com, or I believe they're still in stock. But yeah, absolutely fun. It's a fun game. It's something the 7800 really needed. It was a great looking and playing adventure. A lot of different play styles, play elements. I recommend checking it out. It's probably one of the better buys as far as the unreleased prototypes go. Basket Brawl. This game is awesome. It's fun. It's probably a little decisive or a little, like Ninja Golf. You either love it or hate it. I love it, though. What's not to love about basketball and fighting and a referee that throws knives at you? Meltdown is, it might be the last light gun game we have to show. It's not very good. I do not care for it at all. Ball Blazer is the last Pokey audio game we have here. An incredible game. A ton of people love this game. The sound is great. It's actually from Lucasfilms, who was also doing Rescue on Fractalist. Mean 18 Golf. This might have been the last game I needed. I know it was one of the last ones. I haven't played it a whole lot, but I have played a full round of 18 on it. It's not bad. It's by Accolade too originally, which is interesting. Beef Drop. This is a great homebrew by Ken Siders. Ken Siders was so talented. He did so many great games, and this was one of them. Beef Drop is incredible. I wish it was still available. Midnight Mutants, one of my all-time favorites. I play through this at least twice a year. Definitely around Halloween. It's a tradition for me to beat it at Halloween time. Just a great fun adventure. The 7800 needed way more of that. And the box looks great. I love that Al Lewis on the box. Baby Pac-Man. We just did a review of this game. It got 5 stars, and rightfully so. I wish it was still available too. It's going for way too much, but it's a great game. If you happen to grab it, congratulations. It's a fantastic 7800 homebrew. Miss Pac-Man. This was one of the original release games. And for a long time, it was a great version of Miss Pac-Man. It was great. It was such a good version of Miss Pac-Man that a lot of ROM hacks and Robert DeCrescenzo games used it as a base. Now, this box says baseball, and that's a European box. It's not the original. I do have the original box for this somewhere, but I don't know where. But if you open it up, it is actually the Accolade game. Let's see, Pete Rose Baseball. And I think it's the best baseball game on the 7800. I have the manual, all the cards and stuff. I mean, I have the box too somewhere. But yeah, I like that box better because, again, it's more uniform. It's, sits on the shelf better. Map Mania Challenge. Look at this box. It's so not good, I don't think. But the 7800 had 2 wrestling games. Unfortunately, neither are great. And I like wrestling games, so that's a shame. Meteor Shower. We reviewed this on the channel. Came in blue and red boxes. I only have the red. It's a fun little homebrew. Asteroids Deluxe. I believe you can still get this as well. This uses the vector style graphics, not the 3D of the original 7800 Asteroids. But some people love it. Give it a try. Mario Brothers on the 7800. This is one of the few boxes I have with the price tags on it and a shipping label on the back. Not great condition as I drop it and everything, but it's a fun Atari game. Moon Cresta. This game is hard. Stinking hard. But it's a great homebrew. Robert DeCrescenzo loved putting Pac-Man games and relatively lost arcade games on there. And Clax. Clax is available from Good Deal Games. A great version of Clax that plays really good. Worth picking up and trying. It's cart only, but you can see the cart. That's what you'll get from Good Deal Games. Doesn't look bad. It's real professionally done, and the box is from Etsy, as most of my aftermarket boxes are. Ace of Aces. I do not care for this game that much. I don't care for many of the flight sims. They're hard to go back to. Astro Blaster. I like this a little bit better than the last game we shown there, but and Astro Fighter. You can't have one without the other. Both great ports of their arcade counterparts. Worth grabbing. I don't think they're available anymore. Xenophobe. This is a really fun game. I don't know if it's a great version. I don't think I played any other version. But Xenophobe is a cool game for the 7800. I like it. Xevious. Oh, Xevious is really good. I love this game. I wish I was better at it. I have never been good at Xevious. It's one of those games, I wasn't good at all them years ago, and I'm still not good at. There's something about it. I don't know, maybe dropping bombs and shooting is too much for my tiny little brain to handle. This is Possible Mission. This is a custom box. You can't really buy this. I had somebody make this box for me. They took out the possible, or the M from Impossible Mission. And the cartridge is, I believe, from Good Deal Games, too. It's the NTSC port of the fixed version that was in Europe, and it just says Possible Mission as well. But very cool stuff. Again, I've been cleaning this stuff. As Slide Boy in Mazeland, this is VHZC Vladimir's second game on 7800, and it's a good one. He continues to improve, and I think Uzi's going to be his best yet. I can't wait to get that from Atari Age. Ikari Warriors. I love this game. We just did a Man vs. 7800. It's an awesome version of that game. It's better than the NES. Just incredible. I really love it. It's a great addition to the 7800 library. Planet Smashers. This is a really cool game. The audio gets annoying to me, but it's a fun and unique game. Really, the stuff you have to keep track of, the colors and the protecting the planet, they aren't bad ideas. I think it should have been better than what it is. Super Cobra. Now this is a Robert DeCrescenzo did the original, and this is sort of like a sprite hack. It's a little bit easier than the original, and I'll point that out when it comes on the screen. But Super Cobra is it's a pretty cool little game. You can get it from gooddealgames.com. Hat Trick. This is a hockey game. Kind of choppy, kind of rough, but I don't know. I think it has a charm. I love how on the back they have the little Zamboni scene in the picture. I don't know why. Pac-Man Collection, the original, one of the best-selling games from Atari Age ever. Just a ton of fun. I recommend this version probably over the other. Personal preference, though. The other one is more arcade accurate, I believe. Space Invaders, another Robert DeCrescenzo game. The Space Invaders port to 7800 is near perfect. I really like it. Like the 2600 version a lot, too. Here it is, Scramble. This is what Super Cobra, the sprite hack, was on Scramble. This one's harder than Super Cobra, but a lot of fun. It's a really solid game and a great port. Yeah, no longer available, which is a shame. Galaxia, and this is a great port of the game. Wasn't available for very long on Atari Age. If you had the chance to pick it up, you have a great copy of a great game. And Galaga. People love Galaga on the 7800. I don't mind it, but I don't hold it in as high of regard as other people seem to. I find it interesting how much they love the 7800 version. Super Circus Atari Age. This game is incredible. It's a port of Super Circus, but it looks great. You can play the old 2600 version. I don't know what it is about that game, but I think Robert did a great job on it. I really like it. Wizard's Dungeon. I have a history with this game. I did not like it at first. I kind of wasn't kind to it, and you know, there's a story. I was kind of I came around on it. I recommend it. Winter Games. Out of the two games, Summer Games and Winter Games, this is my favorite. I actually hold the record in speed skiing, so at least on Atari Age, so that's really cool. One of my favorites. Well, favorite-ish. It's not fantastic. Ripoff. This is a great game. I think a lot of people overlooked it, and that's a shame because despite, you know, it looks simple, it's vector graphics, but it plays really fast and furious. It's intense. Just a cool game that probably needed more attention. Space Duel. This is kind of the third Asteroids-esque game. This is missing the tethering stuff, which is strange why they would port it to the VCS as well, because it's missing a lot of what made Space Duel the game that it was in the arcades. Now, Go Sub. This is a little-known 7800 homebrew from Chris Reed that you should still reach out to him and see if you can get. It was on Atari 2600 Connection.com, which I don't think is around anymore, but if you can get a hold of him, get it. F-18 Hornet. This again is the cut down box. I have the original somewhere. I don't love this game. Water Ski. I think this game is underrated. I think it gets a bad rap. It's definitely the best Froggo game. Of course, there's only being two. Really difficult game, but that is the original box, the original cart, and the manual. Uni Wars. This game is not one of my favorites. I think the box is silly too. There's a better looking box on Etsy, in my opinion. But still, it's a neat little game if you like arcade space shooters. Rampage. This is an awesome port of Rampage. Rampage itself is just one of those games that, you know, you get tired of quickly. But I think this port is pretty decent in my opinion. Again, I'm happy to have it. That baby blue, bluish, maybe it's not baby blue, but that box is really neat, I think. Failsafe. Now this is like Countermeasure Not exactly, but sort of like Countermeasure on 7800. It's a cool game. It's kind of slower paced than you might think, but it plays great. Super Pac-Man. I love this game. I like Super Pac-Man. I think a lot of people don't. I do, though. I don't know. I don't see anything wrong with it. I think the Giant Pac-Man is a lot of fun. And it's a good version. Ricky and Vicky. This is probably one of the greatest, if not the greatest, 7800 game ever created. It's good looking. It's really smart. We did an interview with Tail Chow, who programmed it. So look for that on the channel. Great stories behind that. I interviewed him twice, actually. Scrapyard Dog, this was our Mario Brothers, and I don't mind it. I've learned to love it, but that's the thing. I learned to love it. I don't think it's not inherently great like Mario Brothers is, per se. Super Huey, this is my second time buying this game. I bought it once. Second copy, I should say. The first one just stopped working. I don't know why. I don't mind Super Huey. It's okay. Here we have Tomcat, again, an aftermarket box. Yeah, it's another flight sim. Don't have much to say. It's okay. Summer games. I prefer winter games, obviously, as I already said. There's some fun events in here. There's some different stuff, but overall, I think winter games is superior. Another one of those absolute games, Title Match Pro Wrestling. This game, again, not great. It was the second wrestling game. I don't know. I wanted to love it. It's got some silliness to it. Serious. This game is seriously good. We played it on Man vs. 7800 already. It's pretty cool. It was unreleased from Tynesoft, along with another game we'll talk about shortly. But yeah, very cool. GoodDealGames.com has it right now. Dragon's Descent, the second game in the Dragon's trilogy. This one is sort of a overhead adventure dungeon game. Kind of sticks to 2600 rules a little bit, but that's okay. It ain't bad. And Dragon's Havoc, the third game in the Dragon's trilogy, and probably my favorite. This is a side-scrolling shooter shmup thing with lots of parallax scrolling. Awesome. Looks incredible. Plays great. Highly recommended. You can get the whole trilogy on the VCS, too. Here we have the first game in the Dragon's trilogy and the last one that we'll talk about. Dragon's Cash, it's kind of a match 3 puzzle game. Sort of like Bejeweled, I guess. It's pretty cool. It looks great. Super Skateboarding is a guilty pleasure game of mine. I really enjoy this game from time to time. I mean, once you beat it, you'll always be able to beat it. And it seems like no matter how long I'm away from it, I can beat it, no problem. Donkey Kong, the original. This game, the audio is bad, I'll give you that, but it's not a bad game of Donkey Kong, I don't think. I don't mind it. I thought it was fun back in the day, and I still do. And Donkey Kong Jr. I used to prefer Donkey Kong Jr. to Donkey Kong as a kid. I played this a lot more. But nowadays, I prefer the original. I don't know what changed, but something definitely changed. Serpentine. I got this not that long ago. It was one of the last homebrews I grabbed from Atari Age. It's a fun little game. I think it's more of a computer game. Go around and eat the tails of snakes. It ain't bad. Real Sports Baseball, one of my least favorite games on the 7800. Least favorite version of this game is just not good. And this is Touchdown Football. I used to like this game a decent amount. Used to be kind of good at it, but the last time I tried it, I really didn't have any fun with it. Frenzy, and there's a copy of Berserk on there. Fantastic game. You can get it on the VCS as well. Robert DeCrescenzo. Highly recommend you try it out if you haven't. It might still be available on Atari Age. And Froggy, this was a port of Frogger, again, I believe by Ken Siders. I might be mistaken there. It might be Lukey, but either way, it's a great version of Frogger. It plays really good. Fight Night. This game is not very good. It's either, depending who you ask, it's either too easy or too hard. I think it's too easy, but, you know, to each their own, I suppose. And the last Froggo game, Tank Command. Now this is not the original box. I got this off Etsy. But yeah, Tank Command is not very good. We're going to look at it here pretty soon on the channel, I think. And Robotron 2084, awesome twin stick shooter. Plays great on the 7800. There's a ton of different controllers you can get for it. All the way from the expensive stuff to the cheaper Pro Line controller holders. Food Fight. This is probably a must-own. Depending who you ask, this might be the best game on the 7800. It was definitely a great game to have on there. I didn't have it as a kid, unfortunately, but great game. I really enjoy it. Double Dragon, the other Activision game. Activision had some cool looking boxes. This one is fantastic. I really enjoy it. I've beaten it quite a few times. I couldn't do it on Man vs. 7800, but I love that game for the 7800. Another guilty pleasure game of mine. Dig Dug. I was never a big Dig Dug fan, but it's grown on me over the years. And this game isn't bad. Nice thing is you can kind of start off where you died at, so you have no reason not to make it far. Danger Zone by Muddy Vision. This game is sort of a combat clone game for the 7800. It's all planes. It looks really cool. He's got some great things in there, but it's 2-player only, unfortunately. Tower Toppler. This game, I think, gets overlooked quite a bit, but I love it. It's fantastic. I beat it on the original Man vs. 7800 series. For the first time, I documented it on camera. I was so happy. Time Salvo. This is an awesome homebrew. It can be played as a twin-stick shooter. It's AudioVox compatible, so you have a lot of options. Overall, give it a try. It's a ton of fun. I think it gets overlooked a lot, and it's still available. Sentinel this is an aftermarket box. It's an aftermarket cart meant to work on NTSC consoles. It's okay. This box says Q*bert from Parker Brothers, but it is not Q*bert from Parker Brothers. If you open it up, it is actually, and that box is from Etsy, it's not a real box, it's actually Bonk or Q or whatever. This is the Q*bert clone by Ken Siders. This was the other Ken Siders game. This manual is awesome. Look at all the love that went into this thing, and it plays incredible. I'm not a Q*bert guy, but I love this game. Here's Fatal Run. This, again, this might have been the very last game I needed when I completed my collection, but it's a lot of fun. You can get the re-released version of this, Food Fight, and Ninja Golf. I think it's worth picking up at the prices that they're re-released at. Popeye. This game was an incredible homebrew. It's a shame you can't get it anymore. I love it. It's great. It's amazing. Daryl did such a good job with that. We also interviewed him, if you haven't watched that on the podcast previously. Pole Position 2. Now, this is the boxed version that they sold. This game was packed in, and it was cartridge only as the pack-in version. If you bought the boxed version, it has a label on it that's different. And that's actually the same label art as the Sprint game. I think, what was it, Super Sprint or something, Sprint Master, for the 2600. But on top of that, if you got the pack-in version, which most of us have gotten, it's text only. It's a white text label. So I always found it strange that they released it in box form too, but here you can see the text label. Here is Dark Chambers, a sort of gauntlet style game. Actually, it's a Dandy port, more or less, but it's very cool. If you like Gauntlet, you probably like this. Here's Desert Falcon. This game gets overlooked a whole lot, and that's a shame. I think it's a great 7800 game. I get it. If you don't like the isometric Zaxxon style gameplay, you probably won't like this. And here we have the other Tynesoft release, Plutos, and this is another fantastic game. 7800 really could have used it back in the day. It was an unreleased prototype. Here is Dungeon Stalker, released as an Atari Age homebrew. I don't think you can get this anymore. I reviewed it on the channel. Check that review out if you haven't. And then the last of my box games, Pineapple. It's not very good. It's also from Chris Reed. He did so good on Go Sub. I don't know what happened here. And now I want to take a look at some of the loose carts I have. For some reason, I think I had some in the consoles, so I didn't look at them. Double Dragon and Rampage Dual Cart got missed. I apologize, because that's a really cool game to look at. I'll have it in another video for sure. But this is all of my sort of loose stuff. So here we have Shoot the UFO. You can get it from gooddealgames.com. It's not great. And here you have Pack Nester. Again, not great. I mean, it's a graphics hack. It is what it is. Centipede Trackball Edition. If you have a trackball, I recommend getting this. It's pretty cool. And Merlane 2, Save Octo Charles. Another text adventure. Not much to say, really. Now this game, this is probably one of the coolest labels I've seen for this game. It's Pack Jason. It's just a Jason Voorhees mask. You run away from Freddy Krueger masks. The 7800 ET cart. This is another, I don't know, documentary sort of thing. Robot finds kitten. This was a sort of exercise to port this to as much as people could. Not missing much on that one. Sick Pickles. This game is pretty darn good. It's a fast food style game. I love the cart that he 3D printed on this. SIO2 Brixit. He did a great job on that. And here, I think you can still get this on Atari Age. Wasp, I don't recommend it. Mark Ball, not great. Piranha 2, again, kind of an oddity from Gambler. It's another Miss Pac-Man clone. Worm, it's kind of that Nokia mobile phone game that everybody had. Not the greatest version. Kessel Attack, this is asteroids with Star Wars stuff. Millipede, this was an April Fool's Day joke that I spent way too much money on. Forgive me, Gambler. There's Merlane. This is the original text adventure. The label looks really cool. The cartridge looks cool. Not recommended, though. Lava Lamps and 8-tracks. This thing is a turd, and it was signed by the lady. Alpha Race. This is a great version of Alpha Race. I really like this game. Also from SIO2 Brixit. Here's Draker's Quest 2 from our good friend Franco Dragon. Franco Dragon's a cool guy. Crazy Tank, also from him. I like Crazy Tank. I unironically like this game. It's kind of a mess like all his games, but it's cool. I like it. Hardy Manslapper. This game is a trip. A total trip. And Adventures of Ollie Troll. I really do unironically like this game from Franco Dragon and Gambler. Shatneroids, this game. Oh my god, I don't even want to talk about it. And Chicago Basement's another game I don't really want to talk about. I don't recommend it. The label is ugh. Roof Pooper, though. I like Roof Pooper. It's silly. It's tongue-in-cheek. It's cool. And here's the Halloween cart that I got for a pretty decent deal. It's a 2007 version. I don't recommend you spend bunches on those. Adventure, probably my favorite version of that game. I put my own little label maker stuff on there. They come in these little white boxes. They're kind of funky and weird, but they're cool. Combat 1990 was the first 7800 homebrew, and I got the later version there. Animal Keeper, this is a good version of the game, but man, the one from Champ Games looks awesome. I gotta play that one. Put 18 is not a pretty game, but it's a fun game. Lots of courses too. Delta Space Arena, I guess this Video 61 got mad at me after I put that review out, which is unfortunate because I do want to support them guys. I like what they do. And Nova Wolf, this is their most recent one. We're going to review this on the channel here pretty soon. We got the Double Dragon and Rampage dual cart here that I got recently. I forgot it in the last video. It was sitting in the 7800, so pulled it out. There's a little button there that lets you switch between games. It's a really cool thing to have, and I'm glad to have it in the collection.
The fun is back, oh yes siree. It's the 2600 from Atari. It's the video system with classics galore, from Space Invaders to cars that roar. A real hip joystick controls the screen. Solaris is hot and Midnight Magic's mean. And one more thing, it's got a special low price, under 50 bucks. 50 bucks? Now isn't that nice? The fun is back, oh yes siree. It's the 2600 from Atari.
And why not start with the other game that was sitting in my console, the Real Sports Volleyball game. This was in the 2600 Junior. Of course, I'm cleaning everything off, so forgive me there, but it's an okay game. I enjoy it. And this was donated by Fens the Spook. I've greatly appreciated. Haven't put much time into it, but it seems alright. And let's start with the 2600 stuff after that, because this is the stuff that is closely related to the 7800, and I have the second most 2600 stuff. So first here we got Pole Position. This is the original pole position for the 2600 with my own end label there. You can see I printed that off with the label maker, but Pole Position is pretty cool. Up next we have Miss Pac-Man for the 2600. And again, a few of these I had to make my own end labels for. They slipped off for whatever reason. But Miss Pac-Man is a pretty cool game. Jungle Hunt. Jungle Hunt for the 2600 is actually a really good game. I enjoy it quite a bit. Pac-Man, the original Pac-Man. This game gets no love, but you know, it's not as bad as people would have you believe, I think. And of course, we got the 10-in-1 cartridge with our 2600 plus. I'm sure tons of people have this with the dip switch settings. Some really cool games on here. Glad to have it. It's kind of a neat little thing to have, but not much to say. It is what it is. And Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back. This game is actually really cool. I enjoy it a lot. Tron, Deadly Discs, and a dirty cartridge. I really hate these this design of cartridge, but Tron Deadly Discs is a game that I'm very nostalgic for. Demon Attack. Demon Attack is a pretty cool little game. Magic had some good stuff. They also had some real duds in my opinion, but Demon Attack is pretty good. Video Olympics. If you don't know better, you wouldn't know that this is Pong. And bowling. I love bowling on the 2600, and this is a boring version of that cartridge. And we have Canyon Bomber. This was one of my favorites growing up. I really enjoyed Canyon Bomber. It's a real unique kind of game, and I really like it for that. We also have Casino. I've recently picked up Casino from a store for 50 cents. E.T. E.T. is infamous for the 2600. Overall, I don't mind it. It's an alright game. And we have Combat. Combat, everybody has Combat. Some people have 40 copies of Combat. I just have the one. Also really glad to have Phoenix. I loved this game growing up. The unique enemy design was awesome. Fighting the final boss was really cool. Just a really nostalgic title for me. Video Pinball. This game is okay as far as pinball games go. I love video pinball games, and I actually do play this one and Midnight Magic quite a bit. MASH. I love MASH, the TV series. Very nostalgic. My dad watched it, so of course we watched it a ton, but I don't care for this game that much. We have Air-Sea Battle next. This one has some writing. Another one I got for, I think, 50 cents or $1. And this just says Telegames, but it's actually Night Driver. And I love Night Driver. It's probably one of my favorite 2600 games. The front label doesn't tell you anything really, but Night Driver's great. It's a great paddle game. And we have Alpha Beam with Ernie. I recently covered these games in a video about the kids controller. That video didn't do too hot. And of course we have the other one, Big Bird's Egg Catch, which again, you know, I thought for what it was for a 2600 game, it was kind of cool. Up next here we have my only Froggo 2600 game, Sea Hunt. I really want to get the other ones, but Sea Hunt it's okay. And we have Demon to Diamonds. I used to really like this game. I put it in not that long ago, and I don't know. Something's changed. Probably me. We have Super Breakout. Now this game I always enjoyed, and I still do. I love Breakout style games, and Super Breakout is a pretty good one. It's one of the originators. And we have Mario Brothers. I recently saw this at a secondhand shop. It's shot up in price quite a bit. But Mario Brothers is a fun game. It's actually not that bad of a port of the arcade game. I enjoy it. And we have Centipede for the 2600. Centipede is not bad on any console. I have yet to find a version of Centipede that I don't like. We also have Kangaroo, a game I am not fond of. I bought it for, I have an Atari party every year, and my brother-in-law really likes it, so I'm glad to have it for those nights. And we have Berserk. This game I had growing up. I did play it quite a bit. I was really bad at it as a kid, but I've come to appreciate it a lot more, probably because I've gotten better. I have Indy 500 here. Indy 500, I don't have a racing controller. I probably got it because it was dirt cheap. And we have Warlords. This has always been a favorite. Nothing beats 4-player Warlords. Haunted House. This was a childhood favorite of mine. I loved Halloween stuff growing up. You know, the whole October feel, fall, and everything. But especially Haunted House was a game I didn't understand, but I played quite a bit of. And Adventure was another game that I didn't completely understand till I got much older. And it's not a bad game. It's held up better than I think some people would think. Getting to the Activision stuff, we have Pressure Cooker, which is a fantastic game. It works a lot better than you might think it does on the 2600. And Kaboom, this is a classic. Everybody loves Kaboom. Well, probably not everybody. It's a little fast-paced for some, I'm sure, but it's a great game. Oh, Dolphin. This is a game I bought because I thought it was a different game, and it's got a horrible label. Got it for a decent price. Dolphin it's a different game. It's something very different from other stuff. Pitfall. This is one of the few cartridges that was actually my childhood cartridge. Pitfall was fantastic. My mom loved it. We loved it. It was a great game to play back in the day. And here we have Sequest. I bought Dolphin because I thought it was Sequest. I enjoy Sequest. It's a fun idea. It's got a lot of different elements. It's a good game from Activision. And Enduro. I had never played this game until recently. Vinny thought it would go good on the top 100 Atari game list. And after I tried it, I have to agree. Enduro is awesome. Tennis. This game of tennis is pretty good. I haven't put a whole lot of time into it. Boxing. This was another favorite of mine growing up. It's just a fantastic boxing game. It's really simple, but hey, you know, it's fun. Skydrinks. I had never heard of this game before. Picked it up because I think it was $1.50. Not bad overall. Again, anything Activision is usually going to be okay. And this is our original Keystone Capers cartridge. It's lasted all this time with me. Me and my sister, we love Keystone Capers, and this is a game that got a lot of use in our 7800 growing up. Barnstorming is really simplistic and very repetitive, but for some reason it's one of those games I absolutely adore. Stampede. I hear people talk about Stampede a lot for some reason. I never thought it was that great. I mean, it's good, but I don't know. Whenever I hear Atari, for some reason Stampede pops up. Robot Tank. This, I feel, isn't as good as Battlezone. It was clearly meant to go up against Battlezone, but it's still not bad. Chopper Command. I got this recently. The label's in a really rough condition. It's like a Defender, but much easier. And some of my complete and box stuff here. Battlezone. This is a great game. I think I just have it complete in box because I found it for a decent price, but it's a great fun game, and I'm glad to have a boxed version of it. Like many other people, I ordered Mr. Run and Jump when I found out it was for the 2600. A really, really good game, done really smart. I recently got the VCS version, and I need to cover that on the channel, but it seems like other stuff always gets pushed ahead of it. And just like Mr. Run and Jump, I had to get the updated version of Berserk. Again, I had the original as a kid, and we did play it a fair amount, and this enhanced version is cool to have. So this is Atlantis from a Magic, and I always enjoyed Atlantis. I thought it was one of the better Magic games. Sorry for the lack of focus on the camera. I don't know if it's something to do with that shiny case or me moving it like crazy. And Reactor, this was a game I had growing up. Some of this is my original stuff. I believe the manual and cart is the box I got secondhand for whatever reason. Or no, the cart is a replacement cart, actually, and it came with the box, but that's my original manual. And I have Air Raiders from Network. Again, that's the oddly shaped cartridges. This was my mom's favorite 2600 game. Was Air Raiders, believe it or not. So we play it at the Atari parties and stuff. And of course, I had to get the nicest copy of Star Raiders I could find at the time. This baby is in excellent shape. Star Raiders was a very ambitious game back in the day, and you can see, it has the box for the keypad and for the game there. I'm not going to pull those out, but it was an awesome package, and I'm glad to have one in such nice condition. And here's my Redbox stuff. I have, fond memories of Redbox games. Yours Revenge, just an awesome all-around game, Redbox or not. And Dark Chambers 2600. I got this game a few months back because I know I want to cover it on the channel. I don't think Redbox Dark Chambers is all that bad, honestly. Maybe not Redbox, Red Label Junior Pac-Man is what I should be calling these. Junior Pac-Man was a great 2600 game. I'm glad to have it. Wish I had the box. And Donkey Kong Jr. This was a game I had as a kid as well. We had the 2600 Red Label version of Donkey Kong Jr. And now on to my actual complete in box Redbox games with Desert Falcon. This is my most recent acquisition. I reviewed it on the channel. $10. It was okay for $10, but I don't see myself playing it really ever again. And we have Space Invaders, the classic. I had it growing up, not the Redbox version. We had probably a couple copies of the original labels, but Space Invaders is a classic on the 2600. And Sprint Master, I really liked this game, but then I played it recently, and it's not as good as I remember, so I don't know if it's me, or again, if the game was never good, or I don't know. And we have Defender 2. This is one of my favorite 2600 games. I've really come to like Defender in my older age here. And we have Midnight Magic. This is a pretty cool pinball game for the 2600. I definitely prefer it to video pinball. I remember the commercial showing a different version. I wonder what version they showed in that. The Fun is Back commercial. And we have Off the Wall. Off the Wall was a game I used to enjoy quite a bit, and I still do. It's just strange that it doesn't use paddles, but hey, at the time they weren't selling paddles, I don't think. And we have Real Sports Boxing. This might be my favorite. As a matter of fact, I did a video on boxing games, and this was my favorite boxing game currently. And if I do my favorite game video, believe it or not, Radar Lock is probably my favorite 2600 game. Definitely wasn't growing up, I didn't experience it until probably the 2000s, but it's a great game, I really like it. And Solaris, this game is well loved by the community, and Vinny, I know, really enjoys it. It's another really fun game. It's on par with Radar Lock, in my opinion. And another fantastic late Red Blocks box release, Roadrunner. I really like this game. It's a great 2600 game. We have Mousetrap. This game is very much oriented to kids, but still not bad. I like it. And Daryl 1970 is doing a 7800 version of Mousetrap. I believe he's calling it Rat Trap. And Secret Quest. This game is much better than I thought it would be. The whole Nolan Bushnell thing is just a farce, but or at least it's believed to be, and I think it's been proven to be. And the very last 2600 game here, Venture. I used to love this version of Venture, and then Video 61 had to spoil us with the 7800 version, which is far, far superior. And again, thank you to all the Patreons. Without you guys, I couldn't do the stuff I do. So I'm just honored that you guys want to see my collection and you want to support me and the Atari Network. And PS1 games, I don't know if these count or not, but I'm counting them. Q*bert was under the Atari label, and I played quite a bit of it not that long ago. I'm thinking about covering these PS1 Atari games. Let me know what you guys think. And here we have Asteroids. Now this isn't under Atari, but it was licensed during the JTS time by Activision, and then it came out during the Hasbro time. Very late in the PS1's life, I believe, in year 2000 or so. This was a game I had when I had my PlayStation, and it was actually my first inkling that Atari was still around. This says Hasbro Interactive on it. I know there's another version after Infogrames bought Atari that has Infogrames there. And this was a case swap, so it says official NFL licensed item there. But Centipede, I played this a little bit too, and this is pretty good. I was surprised. I really liked the intro. They made it really dramatic.
Service drawn by their master.
And here we have Breakout, and Breakout is kind of an interesting game on the PS1. I don't know, it feels very much inspired by like Crash Bandicoot, which is weird to me. And here, this, again, is not Atari developed, but it's Midway Presents Arcade's Greatest Hits, and it's 6 Atari games on 1 CD. And the last one I picked up here is Missile Command for Atari. Somebody did a video a while back comparing this to Missile Command 3D, and I'm interested to play it for myself and maybe do my own comparison.
This summer, the really hot video games come from Atari. We've got Centipede, Ms. Pac-Man, Vanguard, and Galaxian. If you thought it was going to be just another summer, Atari is going to turn your head around.
The hot names, the hot games, the hot deals. Yeah, it's gonna be a hummer, 'cause nobody's hotter than Atari this summer. Nobody's hotter than Atari this summer.
And here we go. This is everything else. So we did 7800 and 2600 stuff. We're going to show everything else, starting with Jaguar and Asteroid. This is a cool homebrew. It's a Metroidvania style game, complete in box with a full color manual. It came out not that long ago, I believe 2022. Just a great game. And next we have Power Drive Rally. I did review this on the channel. I gave it 3 out of 5. A lot of people felt it should have been a 4 out of 5, and maybe I agree. Maybe I was too harsh on it. I just feel like majority of people, the overall gaming community, won't appreciate it like we do. We have next Valdecier's snow skiing and snowboarding. This is a cool game. It's obviously, you know, it's not anything special, but it's a fun little distraction on the Jaguar. Up next here we have Iron Soldier. Iron Soldier is a lot of fun. I really loved it when I got my Jaguar for the first time back in whatever it was, 2009. But I still enjoy it. It's a great game. And here we have Pinball Fantasies. Not my favorite Jaguar pinball game, but I found it for a decent price. These labels are aftermarket labels, by the way, I got from Etsy. And here we have Alien vs. Predator, one of the killer apps on the Jaguar, a game that people were pumped for back in the day. And it's aged fairly well, honestly. And here we have Checkered Flag, one of the most affordable Jaguar games. I'm not thrilled with it. I used to love 3D racing games and early 3D consoles, but definitely can't compare to Ridge Racer. This was something I got for my sister, so I bought my sister's Jaguar. That is like a 5-in-1 multi-cart deal. It has some things on it. Here we have Flip Out. This game is underrated in my opinion, but I like it. I think it's a pretty neat puzzle game, and it's been fun to play. I haven't gotten super far in it, but I hope to complete it for a review here soon. And here we have White Men Can't Jump. A lot of people really don't like this Jag game. I do. I enjoy it. And up next we have Kasumi Ninja. Not my favorite 2D fighter on the console, but it's really not as bad as I first said. It grows on you. That's also the game that got me in touch with Ted Takuichi, for those who are interested. And we have Cybermorph. Of course you have to have Cybermorph. I was surprised how many Jaguar fans really like Cybermorph. I always thought it was better than people say, but people really like Cybermorph. Here we have Ultra Vortec. Now this is my favorite 2D fighting game on the Jaguar. I feel like it's underrated. I like it a lot. And here we have Tempest 2000. That's recently been disclosed. I have a Tempest fetish. I don't know if that top 100 video that me and Vinny were working on will ever come out, but good thing it didn't, because we I think we both agreed that Tempest was going to be ranked pretty high. And moving on to 5200 stuff, here we have Sinistar. This is a great game. I loved the arcade version of Sinistar, and I missed the camera completely, and I hope I don't do that for all of these. Here we have Blueprint for the 5200. Blueprint was recommended by a viewer of the channel, and I'm glad I reviewed it. It's a lot funner than I thought it would be. I wouldn't have tried it as early as I did. Here we have Galaxian. Galaxian is a really bad port to the 5200, in my opinion. And we have Miss Pac-Man, and once again, I'm really high up on the camera. There we go. Miss Pac-Man is pretty good on the 5200. I actually prefer Pac-Man. Here we have Kangaroo for the 5200. Why Kangaroo? Well, I don't know. I think I got it because I planned on doing a video. No, it came in a lot. Centipede. This I got locally. I think I found it. It was $5, I think. here we have Super Breakout. Super Breakout was a pack-in for a while. Why did they have so many paddle games for the 5200? I don't understand that, since there wasn't a paddle, you know. Here we have Gremlins. This is a rare loose copy. Most of the copies you find on eBay are complete in box, so... Here we have Mario Brothers by Nintendo for the 5200. Mario Brothers, I heard great things about it on the 5200. I don't know. I prefer 7800, I think. And here we have River Raid, and again, why am I so close? There we go. Those are also Etsy labels. I got this locally too. I think it was rather expensive. It was by Activision. That's what I was showing there, Activision. Here we have Defender. Defender is a really good 5200 game in my opinion. I really like it on the Super System. And here we have Adventure 2. Adventure 2 is a really great homebrew on the 5200. Very much worth picking up, and I really like that art too. And now we have Hero. I paid quite a bit for this, but it was actually quite a bit cheaper than what I had seen them going for, and that's the main reason why I picked it up. And we have Moon Patrol, and this might be my favorite 5200 game, at least right now it is. I can just pick it up whenever and have a great time. I really like Moon Patrol. And we have the original Pac-Man. This was the first 5200 game I got to test that 5200 that I bought back in, November of last year. Here we have Vanguard, and I never cared for Vanguard on the 2600. We had that growing up, but I like this 5200 version. And here we have Jungle Hunt for the 5200. This is a really good port of Jungle Hunt, in my opinion, too. And then we have Kicks here. Kicks is one of my favorite all-time games, probably. And I really enjoy it on any console, but 5200 is really good, too. And we have Pole Position for the 5200. This is the newest game I got as of this video. Hey guys, sorry it took so long to get this last edition of the collection video out. I wanted to start by showing off some of my latest pickups. That Halo 2600 is an aftermarket version, but the price was right, so why not grab it? I also picked up a few other games here. Some Redbox stuff that I used to have, Fast Eddie, which is actually funner than I anticipated. I didn't know anything about that game. Spider Fighter, which is one I've been trying to get for a while. And of course, I had to remember to show off California Games. It was stuck on the shelf last time, so that's why I didn't show it to you guys, but now it is here in this video. And I've gotten even more since then. New games and stuff, Magical Fairy Force came and whatnot, but I want to just get this done. We'll do updates sporadically. Now this is the Jaguar game drive, and I highly recommend this thing. Without it, I wouldn't have been able to do the video on the library that I did. Also got the Atari Max for the 5200. Now as far as I know, there isn't a game drive for the 5200, so if you want a flash cart, this is the way you have to go. Works great. On to the consoles here. So this is the 2600 Plus, and I was kind of on the fence for the 2600 Plus, but what can I say? I use it all the time. It's excellent for HD, catching HD video. This is the Game Station Pro. I haven't used it since I got it. It's kind of I guess it's not for me. Maybe I wasn't the intended market for it, but still have it, still in the collection. This is the first Atari flashback. I love it for its design because it mimics the 7800, obviously, and it's really cool looking, but man, the games are awful on it. And I'm doing this voiceover differently. I edited the video together first, and now I'm just going to do one long record on there. So this is not an Atari console, this is the PlayStation, but I want to show it off because if you're an Atari fan, I think you want something that can play PS1 games. The Hasbro stuff is very much worth looking into and trying out. And then again, this is not Xbox either, or this is not Atari either. This is Xbox, obviously. I wanted to show it off. I used to mod these and sell them for some extra money, and this is the one I have left. So if I need footage from something other than an Atari console, this is what I use. A modded Xbox. It's really cool to have, really handy. And Xbox might be my favorite non-Atari thing. And of course we have the 400 Mini. This is probably the newest one, I think. I have big plans for this thing, but I've just been so busy. With homebrew month and stuff like that, I haven't been able to do much with it. But yeah, got the 400 Mini. I'm glad to finally have access to the Atari 8-bit stuff. And there's my USB stick. Maybe that's why I had so many issues. And then, of course, I got this flashback here. This I got from Goodwill for $7, and I think I'm going to eventually get them all to cover on the channel for you guys, especially if I can get them at the price I got this at. And here is the 2600 Junior. Now, I know a lot of people don't like the Junior, and that's fine because it's obviously very radically different from the rest of the 2600s. But again, when I was a kid and collecting 7800 stuff, this was the 2600 on the market, so I just have an incredible soft spot for it, and I like it. I'm glad to have it. It doesn't take up much room. I like that too. And of course, we got to show off the VCS. Again, the USB stick sticking out of it is, I think, a 32 gig that I use to help have additional storage. I really want to get that internal thing that you can put in for more space, but the VCS is a nightmare to get started and get going, but it's otherwise it's a lot of fun. I've really, since they fixed the zip code stuff, I've had a ton of fun with it. And of course the Jaguar. Now the funny thing, this was my original Jaguar. I gave it to my sister because I had acquired two, and then I ended up buying it back from her, so I guess things came full circle there. And I paid her full retail for it, like top dollar of what they go for on eBay. And I really don't mind doing that for family and stuff, but otherwise I would have liked to have shopped around for a deal. Those covers are from Etsy. They really help with dust and stuff. You can get them for the cartridge slot as well and for that back portion. And here we have the prized possession, the 7800, AV modded, of course. As you can see, my 7800 isn't pristine. It's seen some stuff. It's probably the one I've had the longest. Well, yeah, probably the longest out of anything here. And then you can see there's a crack on the top there from something heavy hitting it. Luckily, there's some space. The circuit board kind of sits down in the pan there. But still, it's sustained some damage, but it's done right by me. On the back, you can see the RF has been removed. There's nothing there. So if we turn it to the other side, there's actually an out. It looks like a headphone jack, and then you can put in the audio stuff, and there's the S-Video port right there. And the behemoth, the monster, the thing that is bigger than an Xbox, the 5200. This thing, I really enjoy it. I'm glad to have it, but man, it's hard to fit in anywhere because of its size. It's just so unwieldy and large. It's insane. I have to put it on its own pedestal. I did get the 2-port model for various reasons. One is because it doesn't have that mixing box that, you know, everything plugs into. I didn't want to have that, so I went with the 2-port. I'm happy for it, despite compatibility issues. And of course, we got the Retron 77. I have to show that off. The 2600 plus before the 2600 plus, essentially. Not really, though. It's cool. I really like its design, but I don't use it all that much. It was mainly for that video and just to have for the collection, but it's neat enough. And then controllers. We're just going to go over controllers really fast. I don't have a whole lot to say about everything. These go to the first flashback. This is the Retron 77 pack-in. It's a smart design, 2 buttons, but they both do the same thing. It's not 7800 compatible. Of course, we got the Game Station Pro joysticks that I praised to no end initially. But man, these things are actually not that great. I really wish I could go back and reevaluate them. I think it was the paddle compatibility that really had me in love with them. These go to that flashback I had. You know, they are what they are. You can't use them for anything else. But again, they're controllers, and I have them. So, and this is for the 400 Mini. As you can see, it's a USB joystick here, the original joystick. But it has a lot of additional buttons, and this ring is a button itself. It has 4 functions on each side. This you can get at Video 61. It is a 2-button controller. Each button does their own thing. If you like flight sticks, I'd say go for it. Of course, I have the PlayStation. Believe it or not, I don't have a DualShock controller. I've been using this thing. No issues there. These are my Pro lines. One is a rebuilt from Best Electronics, and the other isn't, and that coupler there is obviously for Robotron. You can get it from gooddealgames.com. I have a ton of these, 2600 joysticks. I don't know if this is the one for the Plus or not. I don't use them a whole lot anymore, but man, I have a bunch of them along with the Pro lines and stuff. This is the new controller that's going to be coming out, the re-release of the EuroPad. This is the best rebuilt. But before that, I was using these all the time. These are the retro Game Boy controllers. They have one with the screw-in thumbstick, one without. They have multiple designs of these, a lot of different variations. The start and select do nothing different in the middle there. I was using those forever until OG Hugo sent this over. And I really prefer this, honestly. I wish Atari would stop messing with them, because that's the best on the market, in my opinion. And here we have a Super Nintendo controller. Now, why do I have a random Super Nintendo controller? Yes, for this, the SNES to Atari adapter. So, of course I had to pick one up. It's an aftermarket one, but, I needed to be able to use that adapter. And I have Sega Genesis controllers. If you just watched the Popeye gameplay video, I was using that with the Seagull 78 adapter, which I did not show off. I should have in this video. And of course, I have an Xbox, so I have to have an Xbox controller. The S model is really nice to have. The paddles, these are original paddles, not the re-released ones. And they work pretty good. There's very little jitter. I mean, I like them. I'm glad to have a good set of original working paddles. Now, if I have to play something on the PC, this is what I use. It's a Logitech controller from, God, forever ago, but it works great. There's nothing special needed there. Here's another. I'm not going to show off every one of these I have, but here's another 2600 controller. Then the Robotron controller from Retro Game Boys. I highly recommend this if you like to have a gamepad. But man, that mess of cords is just awful. You always have 2 cords dangling in the way. If only somebody would think of something better. And what's this? OG Hugo to the rescue. This thing is incredible if you want joystick style controls for Robotron on the 7800. This is the solution, because he has a single cord coming out the back of the controller. It looks like a 5200 controller, but it actually goes into that adapter, and then you plug it into your 2600 Plus, and it works great. It's a nice, clean solution. I'm not sure why other people didn't think of it. I really like it. I'm really glad to have it. I don't know if it's for sale or not, but I recommend it. Here's my trackball. It works great. There's no issues with it. Plays well. Of course, there's not many trackball games, and that's criminal in my opinion. And the stock Jaguar controller. I used to have a 6-button Jag controller, but I haven't. They've gone way up in price, so I might never get another one. But I really like this one. And then this is the Bratwurst arcade stick for the 7800. Again, I used to really love this thing. Better things have come out since, but if you can track one down, I recommend it. Now for light gun games on the 7800, I used the Sega Phaser with an adapter, but the dog chewed up the adapter. So I'm not playing 7800 light gun games at the moment, unfortunately. But I do have the light gun for the PlayStation. It also works on the Saturn, which I no longer have. Again, I'm a light gun game fanatic, so I had to have a light gun for the PlayStation to play Crypt Killer and stuff like that. And this is another OG Hugo controller. I really love this thing too. All his controllers are solid. I recommend them. And here's my 5200 controllers. The one is one I rebuilt live on the one video I did. The other is one I recently purchased so I could do Robotron and Space Dungeon on the 5200. The coupler is an aftermarket coupler. But there's my 5200 controllers. And of course we have to move on to the VCS ones. The modern controller is great. It's basically just an Xbox controller, but hey, it works. No, it doesn't need to be anything different. I like it. And of course, if you have the modern controller, you have to have the classic controller. And this baby is fantastic. I really like it. I like the idea. I'd like to pick up another one because if something happens to that, I still want to be able to use it. Now this is extra stuff, non-console stuff. So this is a Lego set that my wife got me. Her and the kids, I think, surprised me with it. And I wasn't expecting it at all, but it was a lot of fun to put together. As you can see, you can slide the bottom off, and there's a little scene of a kid playing Atari in his wood panel basement. It comes with a cartridge holder you put together. Cartridges you put together, and they do fit in the cartridge slot. You have little dioramas that came with it of each of the games. And of course, you have the controller itself that you put together, and it does plug in. The joystick does work. The button doesn't push in, but that's fine. Overall, it's a great set. It was a lot of fun. This is Pac-Man Tamagotchi I got. I have ran it before. The mini games are Pac-Man games, but man, it's really tiny, and I just don't use it. Here's my acrylic 7800 sign. I've had this since COVID, as you can see from all the fingerprints. This is that mini 2600 thing that they had at Target. It's kind of cool. You can't play it, but it does work. And here's my Space Invaders lottery ticket. I bought a couple. I scratched them off and didn't win. And you know what? I wanted one to keep. I don't want one ruined, so I did that. This I got for my birthday a little bit ago. It's just a little Space Invader, but it's cool to have. And I forgot this with the controllers. This is my Telegames joystick for the 7800. The only official aftermarket 7800 controller from back in the day. It's cool to have, but it's smaller than a Pro line, believe it or not. Oh, this thing is awesome. This is my Ricky and Vicky diorama thing that I had made on Etsy. I commissioned it. Just really cool. I'm glad to have it. It's a neat thing to have. And here's my Pac-Man light. So you hit the button, Pac-Man lights up, and the ghosts take turn lighting up as they chase Pac-Man. It's a really cool display piece. Oh, I really like this too. I got it for my birthday for my sister again. It's the Pitfall Cantina. This thing, I'll never drink out of it. I don't feel safe with it, but the design is awesome. And these are like the world's smallest Atari controllers, I think. I was trying to show off the sounds they make, and I forgot I wasn't recording audio, but they do make little sounds from various games. And here's the Atari Vox. The Atari Vox adds sound capability to certain 7800, 2600, and I think even Vectrex and other games. It's cool to have, but you have to have computer speakers, you have to have a lot of stuff to make it work. It can technically plug directly into the console, but I recommend getting a adapter or a cord extension piece to use it easier. But it is cool to have, and there is some cool stuff with it. On to the books. This is The Art of Atari. It's helped me with a lot of research for some of my videos. And the dog is starting to bark, but we're going to do one take here. This is Classic Home Video Games. It just tells you about all of the game consoles from the 80s. This is a price guide, I believe, that I had a while ago. None of the prices are relevant anymore, of course, but it is still neat to have. It's a piece of history. The Game Console 2.0, this is a cool book, too. It has a lot of really neat pictures, a lot of high-quality pictures of the consoles, breakdowns of them. I highly recommend this book if you like video games in general. Once Upon Atari by Howard Scott Warshaw. I have not dug into this. My son got it for me for Christmas. Can't wait to read it. This compendium now, the Atari 2600, 7800 Visual Compendium, highly recommend this book. It's been invaluable for running the YouTube channel, but also, if you're just a fan of Atari 7800 stuff, 2600, there's a lot of great information in here. A lot of interviews I haven't seen elsewhere. That's a really good book to have. A couple magazines are relevant to Atari here. Oh, this Electronic Games is like a 1984 issue where they first unveiled the 7800. So it's really neat to have, really cool. I'm glad to have it. And it's, again, for historical reference, it's you know, really, really good. And, of course, the Atarian magazines. Got to show these off. I seen they're trying to sell them now for like $100. Don't pay that. These things are ultra thin, but they are neat to have. Oh, I gotta show this off. Club BCS, the magazine. I can't wait for the next issue. These guys knocked it out of the park with this magazine. This thing is incredible. Just so glad to have it. And here's some advertisement type stuff for the Jaguar. It's just a little advertised pamphlet you would have got for free from like GameStop or something. Here's some of the overlays and manual for the kids controller. This is a weird book from the Classic Game Room guy. It's just a book on the 7800 version of Mario Brothers. I don't know what he was thinking. It's just weird. It's so weird. Here's the Jaguar official gamer's guide. This thing is awesome. I think it's the only gamer's guide for the Jaguar, but it does have some great information in it. Would have been useful back in the day. Here's the kids controller. It was on the bookshelf with the books, so I forgot it. Here's a few of my manuals and whatnot. So a few of these manuals are for new stuff like the Adventure 2, but some of these manuals are my childhood manuals. My mom found a box full of old Atari manuals. It had our old Atari Force. I remember seeing these with the games and stuff. I never looked at the Atari Force stuff. And there was a few catalogs. So all these are from here on out are mine from when I was a kid, which is really cool. Oh, when I did Blueprint, I had to print off a thing. So that's just a printed manual. But this is my Phoenix manual from when I was a kid. The Zerk manual, Demons to Diamonds manual, Night Driver. All these are ours, which is really nice to have. I thought they were long gone. Of course, we had many more that I guess didn't survive, but it was nice to have these ones. Combat, Tron, again, our 7800 Choplifter, which I forgot we had Choplifter for the 7800 as a kid. I must not have played it that much. Oh, this game is weird, this book is weird. It's like just the Wikipedia pages for the 7800 in a book. Don't get it, it's not good. And this Retro Gamer magazine is cool to have too. It's all about the 7800. A lot of other cool stuff in there too, but of course it's 7800, so I had to have it. It has a lot of different information for the console. But yeah, that's it, guys. That's basically the whole collection. That's everything we have. Thank you so much for being a Patreon, for being a YouTube member, and for supporting the Atari Network. It means a ton to me. It helps the channel to keep going, keep getting things to cover, and I just can't tell you how much I appreciate it. So stay tuned for the next Patreon video series, and outside of that, just stay classy, Atarians.
Some of you believe your system is the most advanced in the universe. Let's review the numbers. Sega Genesis is 16 bits. 3DO is 32 bits. The Atari Jaguar is 64 bits. Which is more advanced? Clifford! 16 and 32 are less than 64. So with 64 bits, 3D graphics, real-world animation, and lightning speed that you can only get with Jaguar, which is more advanced? Clifford!
Can you repeat the question?
Jaguar! Jaguar! Jaguar!